All right, fellas. Finishing up the videos. This is gonna be the last one. Figure I might as well knock it out early. I got cut off last night. Girl called me. You know, typical life shit. Can't be mad at that. But as I was talking at the end of the last video, I was going over my MVPs, and I had, if y'all remember correctly, I had Phillip Rivers as my #1 MVP. Like I said, the numbers don't lie. 16 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. Without Phillip Rivers, you can argue who knows where the Niners would be right now. I mean, the Niners is coming off a great game where, like I was saying, they came off a great game where they beat the Eagles 38-0. And in that game alone, Phillip Rivers was typical Phillip Rivers. 8 for 10, perfect passer rating, 2 touchdowns, 208 yards, 80-yard long pass to Dez Bryant, 80 completion percentage. And I mean, you take Phillip Rivers off this team, I mean, it's just shit. I mean, CJ Beathard, the rookie, came in from Iowa and had 5 passes and threw a pick in those 5 passes. So it goes a lot where you can say you bring your rookie in, and I mean, he was 3 for 5, but he missed some pretty easy ones in there trying to, you know, milk the clock and get first downs. Because I wasn't really trying to pass the score, or pass to move the ball. I was more so passing to keep the clock moving. But he made some pretty easy throws then, and he threw a bad one that got picked off by I believe it was Jenkins on the Eagles. So there's a lot to say that if we didn't have him, who knows where we'll be. Before I finish my MVP thing, we have a couple games finished that I didn't need to touch on. A couple big ones that I just saw across my screen. Breaking news: the Eagles. I meant the Eagles. Where is it? The Cowboys are the Cowboys. They're back, and they just manhandled the Redskins. Like I said, I tried to give the Redskins a game in those 2 games. I tried to give them one, but if they can only muster 7 points to 35 at home, I might have been wrong. Only 190 yards of total offense, 55 passing. They got to get the passing game going. Only 9 first downs, 3 turnovers. I mean, they just, third quarter, they kind of gave it away. It looks like Cowboys scored 21 in the third. But, I mean, they Cowboys just look sharp. Dak Prescott, one of my MVP candidates, going to get to that next. TJ Logan had a good game. Doesn't seem like he really has a weapon on the outside, per se. But, I mean, Terrence Williams had a short touchdown. Corey Davis, the rookie, had a 27-yard touchdown. But it was just defense dominated, by the Cowboys. Malik Collins with 2 sacks. Randy Gregory had a sack. And you got Anthony Brown with 2 picks. And Jayon Brown with had a pick. So defense led the way for the Cowboys as usual. And like I said, I mean, these are the games that the Redskins got to win, or at least competed to be a real factor. But I haven't been a sleeper, and I'm not going to take that away from them. And what we have in an upset, breaking news. Breaking news, if y'all remember, I was really talking about this yesterday because they were one of the teams I had that were going to finish with a top 5 pick. Now, it looks like I don't know the user because I didn't go through the names, but if we have an upset here, and the Chicago Bears lose 7-13 on the road to at the time the 1-win Saints. At the time, the Saints were 1-5. And now they sit here at 2-5. So I missed that game. I don't know how I missed that. But yeah, it looks like the Saints got another win, and it's a huge one. I mean, as I remember, I had Raymond as one of my sleepers for that last wild card spot, and this week has proved that I might be really wrong, and it just might be Detroit and Zach Kennedy, I believe his last name is, and Fabian. It looks like it might be a 2-man race for that last spot. I mean, the Redskins are still 4-3, Bears are still 4-4, but that's a bad loss coming from the Chicago Bears right there. That is a loss you cannot have. You must beat teams when you have an NFC like this, where you're basically you're already kind of quote unquote going into the situation already knowing you're playing for one spot. Because at the end of the day, unless the Packers go on a major slide, the Bears and the Lions are playing for one spot. Because you got the Packers, Niners, Cowboys are going to win that division. The NFC South is going to get somebody in, and the Giants are 6-1. So the Giants need to go on a major slide. And when you're looking at the Falcons, can still play for that wild card spot with 2 losses and a tie, but when you're a team like the Redskins, the Bears, the Lions, the Cardinals, the Bucks, the Seahawks, all these 4-loss teams, you kind of have to go into a situation and get mentally prepared and know you have to win these games that you're supposed to win. And then it looks like we have another shakeup. This might be another. This has been an upset week. We call this Upset Sunday, it looks like. Yes, it had. The Seattle Seahawks. I guess he watched that video where I said he was going to finish with a top 5 pick, because he always does, have upset the Houston Texans. And this changes a lot, because I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna give y'all something away. I'm gonna give a little bit away right now. Even though, and I remember the breaking news coming across the screen that the Texans have got rid of Will Fuller, a third, and Lamar Miller. Got tired of Lamar Miller fumbling for Jamal Langford, Kendall Wright, and I believe a DN. And for me, personally, that trade doesn't make sense for the Bears, as Kendall Wright was their only wide receiver. You can't give up your only weapon. To me, that was just a bad trade. I don't know how you give up your only weapon, but they felt like they could afford to move on. They decided to give up the only weapon, and we'll see where this takes us. But this shakes some things up. I had Texans as one of my top teams in the AFC, bro. Like, I definitely did. I had the Texans as one of the teams that I thought might compete. And I'm not going to say this loss changes all of that, but this is a bad loss. This is a bad loss. And I'm not going to lie. I have Bernard McKinney as one of my MVP candidates, and he just got scratched off the list. If you are going to be an MVP candidate, defensive or offensive, you don't lose these games. We all have bad losses. But it is at the point of the season where you do not lose these games, and McKinney's getting scratched off my list immediately. I mean, as a defensive guy, you gotta fucking put the team on your back and make a play, make an interception, make a key tackle, force a fumble, something, if you are gonna be that guy. And like I said, one man can't win a game, but that's what separates the MVPs from the non-MVPs and the really good players. Like the J.J. Watts. That's what separates the J.J. Watts from the Davion Clowneys. The J.J. Watts make plays when the team absolutely needs it, where they don't see it coming out of nowhere. And the Davion Clowneys just make plays. I mean, I'm looking at the stat sheet, and in a game of this nature, Bernard McKinney had 2 tackles solo, 1 assist, so 3 total, 1 for loss, no sacks, no picks, 1 pass deflection, no forced fumble, no recoveries. He was just another guy. Having a season where he has over 35 tackles, 5 picks, 4 sacks. He's been the guy on defense to come up in a game like this and just be a guy and get upset out of Seattle. So props to Seattle for that one. But finishing my MVP candidates. Hopefully nothing changes from here until I'm finished. But I had DeMarco Murray number 2. Only reason why I had DeMarco Murray number 2 on my list out of the MVP candidates. It was one reason and one reason only. Le'Veon Bell has the numbers to clearly be the MVP, almost 1,000 yards in 8 games, and let's scratch all that. Le'Veon Bell might not even crack my top 5 right now. And the only reason why Le'Veon Bell might not crack my top 5, Big Ben gets hurt. If you're that MVP, you don't lose 2 games to the Bengals and then another game to the Lions. Neither team is bad. But when you're the MVP, you will your team to win. Or you at least will your motherfucking team to get more than 7 points. That's just blasphemous. That's blasphemous. You can't be my MVP of the league and you can't only put up 7 points. I mean, yeah, that goes on some of the coaching that they won't use you for 25, 30 carries a game when you're clearly averaging 10 yards a carry, and it just doesn't make sense to me But that took Rich off my coach of the year, and it took him off my MVP list because it's like, what are you doing? Run the ball 20 times. Why is Le'Veon Bell finishing the game with 15 carries? I get you fall behind. But when you average 10 yards a fucking run, that's like passing the ball. You might as well just keep running. What are you passing for? Every time you pass the ball, Josh Dobbs is throwing an interception, but you want to keep passing? If you throw a 15-yard run, if you averaging 9 yards, 9.5 yards a carry, you run the ball for 15 yards, that's like a short quick slant, and you get an open guy. You run the next ball for 7 yards. That's better than an incompletion. He's averaging 9 a carry. So if you get 15, the next one he's basically guaranteed 4 yards. 9.5, because that's 19. 15 plus 4. He's averaging 9.5 yards a carry. You milk that motherfucker until you can't be milked no more. And that's on the coaching, that's on the player, and that's on the whole offensive the offensive staff over there in Pittsburgh. And that really knocked down Latavius Murray, Le'Veon Bell off my MVP list. Watching these last 2 games, and clearly Big Ben is the MVP of that team. I mean, it's a mindset that the coach seems to be giving up. Once Big Ben got hurt, he kind of just threw in the towel. But it's no way in hell you are the MVP and you let this happen. So like I said, that's why a lot of people got upped on my list. And DeMarco Murray is number 2 on my list. 830 yards, 9 yards per carry, 8 touchdowns, only 1 fumble, 10 broken tackles, and he's leading that team to a 5-2 record. 5 catches for 82 yards and another touchdown through the air. Averaging 12 yards after the catch. Had a 50-yarder. I mean, he's just playing good football right now. And that team has a 5-2 record, so he's number 2 on my list. Number 3 on my list. And this was a tough one. Some people might be impressed, some people might not. Number 3 on my list. Honestly, I got it because a lot of these records are kind of similar. A lot of the numbers are very similar. But I got to look at a team and what they would be without this guy. And right now, you can argue the Lions would be 0-8 without Latavius Murray. He's number 3. 4-3 record, 735 yards, number 1 in touchdowns with 9. I believe that was number 1. Last time I looked, he was number 1 with 9 touchdowns. Yeah, now he's tied number 1 with LaShawn McCoy, who I have in my top 5. Latavius Murray, like I said, 735 yards, 9 touchdowns. But it doesn't end there for Latavius Murray. That's not it. He's also thrown in 28 catches to lead the team, 396 yards to be second on the team in yards, and a touchdown. This team would be irrelevant without Latavius Murray. Golden Tate, maybe he got traded. It looks like he got traded because I see Laquan Treadwell here. So something happened where he got rid of Golden Tate is still there. Golden Tate is just having a down year. Laquan Treadwell, unless injured, only has 2 catches on the season. Eric Ebron only has 12. And you look at their weapons, you think everybody must have got injured for 5 games. No, these guys have played every single game. Laquan Treadwell missed 2, but Amir Abdullah, all these other guys, Amir Abdullah doesn't even see the field because why take out the guy who's averaging 6.6 yards a carry and 100 yards a game and 15 broken tackles, 91 after contact, 82 long. This team is nowhere without Latavius Murray. 4th on my list, I got Shady McCoy in Buffalo. Like I said, tied for the league lead in touchdowns, 600-something yards. He had 644 yards, averaging 107 a game. Only 2 fumbles, 8 broken tackles. Shady McCoy's having another great year, second on that team in receptions. So you can really argue. I mean, these are teams, the AFC teams, a lot of these teams with good running backs are teams that, outside of the Colts, and that's the only reason why Matt is falling down my list, is because they have a great passing attack, and that's not bad on him. That's good. A lot of these teams, you figure you stop the run, you don't know what the hell they're going to do. But this guy, Marlon Mack, he's having a good year, but Frank Gore is right behind him with almost 300 yards. A lot of these teams is like, if you stop the run, they can't pass the ball at all. Like Andrew Luck, 11 touchdowns, 29 interceptions. Matthew Stafford's hovering around 500. Stafford is hovering around 500. And then you got Tyrod with 4 and 11. You stop these guys' running game, they can't do anything. But the running game is fueling them right now. So Shady I got at 4 with his good numbers. And then 5, I have a two-way tie between Julio Jones, who's having just an amazing season again, just proving why he might be the best wide receiver, hands down, instead of a tie with Antonio Brown. He's just hands down the best wide receiver. But 131 yards a game, 33 catches, only 6 games played. So he's, averaging almost 6 catches a game, over 130 yards a game, 7 touchdowns. That's a touchdown a game. Julio Jones is having an excellent season. And then tied, I have Dez Bryant, who just came off a 6-catch, 180-yard game, where he has 36 catches now on the year, 683 yards and 10 touchdowns, averaging 97 a game. I mean, like I said, Phillip Rivers and Dez Bryant, the 2 top 5 candidates. You take them off their team, and his team is just nowhere with the Niners. I mean, you got Dez, 36, second in the league in catches, tied for second in the league in catches, third in the league in yards. Only behind Mike Evans and Julio Jones, and 10 touchdowns, which is number 1 in the league right now. 196-yard rack, 88 long that just came in this game, and he's played 302 downs. Mind you, Mike Evans played a whole entire more game, and he's only 1 down behind him. So it just proves that Phillip Rivers and Dez Bryant keep this offense going, because, like I said, the amount of downs played, it looks like he's behind Edelman, he's behind Amari Cooper, Odell Beckham. I'm going to try to look at the 7 gamers. At 302, he's behind Amari Cooper, Edelman, Beckham, Jarvis Landry, Brandon Cooks. These are guys that never leave the field no matter what. So he's kind of behind them in the game, in the downs played. And he's behind a lot of these guys significantly, and he has way better numbers than a lot of these guys do. So that says a lot to his performance. How well he's been playing. Like I said, we got Jarvis Landry at 426. 7 games played, the same as Dez Bryant, and has 11 less catches, 400 less yards, and 8 less touchdowns. Been on the field 124 more plays. So the efficiency that Dez is getting it done at right now, you got to give him a MVP candidate nod. That's my top 5 with Le'Veon Bell, Marlon Mack, and there was another receiver. I felt like Mike Evans are going to all get little shout-outs. Mike Evans, Le'Veon Bell, and Marlon Mack all get shout-outs for the MVP candidates. But records and things like that are going to hold him back. And like I said, the whole thing with Le'Veon Bell, he might be on Madden the #1 MVP, but you're not my MVP. But you can't will your team to get 7 more points. Defense Rookie of the Year, I got some names to list. I got Jabril Peppers as one of my candidates. 47 tackles, 20 solo, 2 for a loss. Marquise Lee in Oakland, 46 tackles, 31 solo, 2 INTs. Brett Salisbury with Marcus May with 36 tackles, 27 solo, 2 picks. In my opinion, the Rookie of the Year right now for me would go to Jay White of the Buffalo Bills. Tre'Davious White with 6 INTs is having a great rookie campaign. First among rookies in INTs, or tied for first with 4 among rookies in INTs. Another mention, I got TJ Watt, 31 tackles, 4 picks, 1 forced fumble, 1 recovery, 17 solo. Ford out of Chicago with 6 INTs, that's tied for the first, 31 tackles, 16 solo. The only reason why Tre'Davious White is getting it over me, Tre'Davious White is leading